Magandang araw po mga minamahal na mga kapatid. Tayo po ay magpapatuloy sa ating pag-aaral na may kinalaman din po sa issue na nakaharap natin during our comparative study with the SDA Church noong April 12. May isa pang issue na kailangang maliwanagan natin. Ito ay tungkol sa issue ng disfellowshipment ng 2% because of their unchristian conduct. Ayan, ito po ang issue na ating lilinawin ngayon. No? Doon kasi sa sharing, pinalabas itong issue na yun daw mga 2% ay yung reason kung bakit sila po ay na-disfellowship is because of their unchristian conduct. At ang pagdidiin ay ginamit na ito ay ayon daw sa website ng ISDARM. Okay, yung statement doon na ayon sa website ng ISDARM, yung mga 2% na sila ang nagiging pioneer members ng ISDARM, were not disfellowship because hindi sila sumunod sa war. Hindi sila sumali sa war. Pero ang cause ng kanilang pagka-disfellowship was because of their unchristian conduct. Yan po mga kapatid ang lumabas na issue. So, yan, linawin ko Ang nagpalabas dito sa issue na ito ay siyempre yung negative side, si Brother Bressy Balansag Jr. Sabi niya, yung 2% ay hindi na disfellowship dahil sila ay sumunod sa, hindi sila na disfellowship dahil sa hindi nila pagsunod sa gira. Hindi sila na disfellowship dahil sa hindi nila pagsali sa gira, kundi ang dahilan ng kanilang pagka-disfellowship ay dahil sa kanilang unchristian conduct, ayon sa website ng ISDARM. So, unang-una mga kapatid, gusto kong malaman ninyo na although kinuha niya yung quotation doon sa website ng ISDARM, pero yung nagbigay dito na reason, nagsabi na they were disfellowship because of their unchristian conduct, was a quotation from an article written by a Seventh-day Adventist noong 1918. So ang nagsabi doon, version yan ng 98 majority na nag-apostatize. Sila po yung nagsabi na ang reason nila kung bakit nila dinisfellowship yung 2% was because of their unchristian conduct. Okay, kaya susuriin po natin itong sinasabi ni kapatid kung totoo ba o hindi. So ang tanong, kasi dalawang point yun totoo ba na hindi na disfellowship ang 2% dahil hindi sila sumunod sa gira? Okay? Totoo ba yun? Okay. Ang sagot po ay hindi totoo itong sinabi ni kapatid at minamahal natin na kapatid na si Brother Bressy. Batay po sa ebidensya. Hindi po totoo yung sabi niya na ang kanilang pagka-disfellowship ay hindi dahil sa hindi sila sumunod sa gira. Hindi po yun. Hindi po yun totoo. Okay. Ito ang evidence ibig sabihin, kung hindi totoo yun, ano ang totoo? Ang totoo doon, ang reason kung bakit sila na-disfellowship, besides doon sa binigay na because of their unchristian conduct, ay dahil sa hindi sila sumunod doon sa utos o kaya desisyon ng mga pangulo na dapat silang sumunod sa gira. Okay. Basahin natin. Evidence number 1. Ito po ay sinulat ni C.H. Watson, former GC President, sa kanyang circular letter. Okay? Ganito ang kanyang sinabi. There was in Germany and those other countries a concerned minority of our believers who refused to follow the leadership of Conradi and others into combatant participation. Okay? Hindi sila sumunod doon sa leadership ni Conradi para mag-participate sa war as combatant. These were subjected to much suffering at the hands of their government because of their stand. In Germany, those who took their stand against Conradi's wicked action, in thus committing them to war, were treated with great harshness by Conradi and his associates. Now, tandaan ninyo ito. The resistance of the minority to military service. So, ano ang ginawa ng mga minority? They resist doing military service. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila gumawa ng military service ayon doon sa desisyon ng mga pangulo nila na dapat sumali sila sa military service. Kasi gira yan. Sila, na minority, hindi sila sumunod doon sa mandato ng mga leaders na yon. And because of their resistance to military service, this threatened to compromise the whole body of Adventists in the eyes of the German government. Ngayon, to avoid this, Conradi had the minority disfellowship from the church. Anong dahilan kung bakit daw na disfellowship yung mga hindi sumali sa gira? Is because hindi sila sumali sa gira. Dahil hindi nila pagsali sa gira, ang nangyari, it compromised the whole body of Adventists before the government. So ang nangyari doon, nagalit yung mga ng gobyerno kasi merong mga member ng Seventh-day Adventist na ayaw sumali sa gira, samantalang ang mga leaders ay nagpahayag na sila ay sasama sa gira. But here comes their members na hindi sasama sa gira. So ngayon, ang sisisihin ng government, yung kanilang pangulo. Oh, kayo, ikaw, Conradi, kayo ng mga union president, sabi nyo na yung mga sakop nyo, mga membro nyo ay sasama sa gira. Pero nandito ang mga membro nyo, ayaw sumali sa gira. Kaya, sabi nga pa nga na, clinose nila yung kanilang sanitarium at eskwelahan. Ayaw pa bukas. Kasi, merong member ng SDA na hindi sumama sa gira. Kahit anong gagawin ng gobyerno, pamimilit sa kanila, ayaw nilang sumama sa gira. Okay. So, because of that, to avoid, sabi dito, to avoid the whole body of Adventists being compromised, Conradi had the minority disfellowship from the church. Oh. Para mabuksan yung mapayagan sila na mabuksan yung kanilang mga institution. Oh. At hindi madamay yung iba. Sinacrifice nila yung kanilang mga tapat na mga membro just for the sake of saving their institutions. Parang mas mahalaga sa kanila yung preservation ng kanilang mga institution, yung mga properties nila, kaysa yung prinsipyo ng Panginoon. Sa halip na yung mga properties nila ang maisacrifice na mako-confiscate, yung prinsipyo ang kanilang sinacrifice. At saka yung mga tapat sa prinsipyo ang kanilang sinacrifice. Dalawa. Yung prinsipyo yung sinacrifice plus yung mga tapat na membro, sinacrifice nila. Paanong pag-sacrifice? Sa mga tapat na membro. Dinis fellowship, paano nila pinag-sacrifice yung principle? Linabag nila. Linabag nila para lamang ma-preserve yung kanilang institution. Yan po mga kapatid ang nangyari. So, yun bang rason kung bakit sila na-disfellowship ay dahil doon sa hindi sila sumama sa gira? Yes! Yan ang malino na sinasabi dito. Pero sabi nga ng kabila, hindi daw na-disfellowship yung 2% dahil sa hindi nila pagsunod sa gira, kundi ang tanging dahilan ay because of their unchristian conduct. Kaya mali po yun, yung sinasabi nila na hindi yung refusal nila to join the war ang dahilan ng kanilang pagka-disfellowship dahil yun po ang pinaka-basic na dahilan. Okay? Evidence number 2, basahin natin. Ito ay aklat naman na sinulat ni Michael Platt. Isang thesis ito. The History of the Advent Movement in Germany, page 258. Sabi niya, in August 1914, Conradi stipulated that under the emergency, the German Adventists could perform military service, bear arms, and work on Saturdays. Ayun, ang stipulation ni Conradi na sumali na yung mga Adventists sa military service, they bear arms, and work even on Saturday. Dahil dito sa stipulation ni Conradi, sino ba si Conradi? Vice President ng General Conference at President ng European Division. Dahil doon sa kanya tinitingala siya na mataas na leader, GC leader at saka European Division President, so sumunod ang mga membro. An overwhelming majority of the members. Ano yan? Hindi lang basta majority, overwhelming majority of the members of the church accepted and support the position of Conradi and Schubert. Ano yung position nila? That Adventists could perform military service, bear arms, and work on Sabbath. Yon ang sinuportahan, sinunod ng overwhelming majority of the members. Pero ito, ang good news, may remnant na hindi sumali. Sabi dito, about 2% of the membership, however, condemned Conradi's stand and refused to abide by it. Anong ibig sabihin? Refused to abide by it. Refused to follow yung sabi ng stipulation ni Conradi na pwede silang sumali sa military service, to bear arms, and work on Sabbath days. They refuse to abide by this stipulation. Their persistent refusal to perform military duties, to bear arms, and work on Sabbath resulted in dismissal from the membership of the church. Pag sinabing dismissal from the membership of the church, it means disfellowship from the church. Yan po ang dahilan. Kaya hindi po tama yung talaga yung sinasabi ni Brother Bracy na hindi daw yun ang dahilan kung bakit sila na-disfellowship, kundi ang tanging dahilan ay because of their unchristian conduct. Pero nandito, dalawang ebidensya. We can add more evidence, pero sabi ng Biblia, 2 or 3 witnesses is enough. So, tama na yung dalawa. That is already enough to establish the fact na mali yung sinasabi po ng ating mahal na kapatid na Brother Bracy. Pero we do not hate him. Hindi tayo dapat magtanim ng sama ng loob sa kanya kahit nagkamali. Unawain na lang natin siya. Pero kailangan lang na ating linawin sa publiko para naman yung mga tao ay hindi malinlang na maniwala doon sa mali na pahayag. Okay? Teka, sabi kong 2 or 3, kaya dahil may provision for 3, dagdagan natin ng pangatlo. No? Ito pa. Ito naman ay isang newspaper dated September 26, 1918. Sabi dito, ito ay paglilinaw ng Seventh-day Adventist leadership. Ang tawag doon sa article nila is explanation. In the beginning of the war, there were some members, as there are also in other places, who did not want to take part in war service. Ano ang tinutukoy na ditong mga tao? Anong ugali nila? Who did not want to take part in war service. Ayaw nilang sumama sa war service. They started to spread around their foolish ideas in the congregation by word and in writing, trying to convince others to do the same. They were admonished by the church, but because of their obstinacy, pag sinabing obstinacy, ayaw nilang baguhin yung kanilang idea. Bakit nga naman nila babaguhin yung idea nila ay tama naman? It is good to be obstinate for as long as what you believe is right. Ang masama, yung wala kang determinasyon, kahit tama yung panindigan mo, pero you are wavering. Ayan ang masama doon. Pero kung ikaw ay obstinate, you don't want to change your mind because you know na yan ay tama yung pinaninindigan mo, that is good. Okay. Kaya sabi dito, because of their obstinacy, their refusal to change their combatant stand, they had to be put out, for they become a threat to internal and external peace. Ano ang dahilan kung bakit sila put out by force? Because of their refusal to take part in war service. Pinayuhan sila, but they were obstinate. Yung sabi ko dito na refusal to change their combatant stand, linagay ko in open and close parenthesis, hindi part ng quotation. Yan, explanation ko lang na idinagdag kasi yun po ang context. Okay. So, those that were put out of the SDA church were those who did not want to take part in war. That is the reason for their disfellowshipment. Okay. Kaya hindi lang mali, kundi maling-mali ang sabi ni kapatid na Brese Balansag Jr. na hindi na disfellowship daw ang 2% dahil hindi sila sumunod sa gira, kundi dahil sa kanilang unchristian conduct. Kaya pag-usapan natin itong tinatawag nilang unchristian conduct. Tanong, ano yung action ng 2% SDAs na kinonsider nila ng mga kapatid nila na sumama sa gira, na nasa leadership, kinonsider nila yung action nila na unchristian conduct at dinamit na basehan upang sila ay i-disfellowship sa church. Ito, ang tinutukoy nila na unchristian conduct ay ang strong protest ng mga members against the improper position taken by their leaders na nakadisrupt sa mga meetings. Ayon sa record. So basahin natin ang paliwanag sa page 9 ng aklat ni Helmut Kramer na siyang ginamit ni Brother Balansag to identify kung ano ang unchristian conduct na yan. Okay. Okay. Ito yung sa kanyang PowerPoint, sabi dito. So it was that some members who opposed this new and improper position taken by a few leaders in Europe at the beginning of World War I began to protest vigorously. The opposition in this city, Bremen in Germany, became very vocal against church leadership. The protests were so strong that conference leadership had to be called to quell the discontent which had been generated. Meetings of the church had been disrupted by these protests. They could not even be completed with song and prayer. Ito ay galing po doon sa aklat ni Helmut Kramer, page 9. Yung Seventh-day Adventist Reform Movement, German Reform, page 9. Yun po ang pinagkunan dito. Na may katotohanan naman na talagang may nangyari doon sa Bremen. So, tandaan natin na yung pangyayari na ito, na kung saan may mga protesters na nagiging vocal, tapos na-disrupt yung meeting nila. Because of that. Saan po nangyari? Doon lang po sa isang local church doon sa Bremen. Okay, sa Germany. Isang lugar po yan. Hindi po ganyan lahat ang karanasan ng mga protesters sa buong Germany. At lalong hindi ganyan ang karanasan ng mga na-disfellowship sa ibang bansa. Isang lugar yon na pangyayari na merong na-disrupt na meeting dahil sa protest. Pero sa ibang mga lugar, hindi naman ganun. So anong ibig sabihin nun? This strong, loud protest of the members in one place in Germany, the city of Bremen, that disrupts the meeting of the church which they considered as unchristian conduct, was framed by SDA leaders as the cause of the disfellowshipment of all the 2% SDA minority in Germany. Pinapalabas nila na itong unchristian conduct dahil vocal ang kanilang protest, nakaka-disrupt ng meeting, ito ang ginawa nila na bagamat nangyari sa isang lugar, ginamit nila na pinapalabas na yun ang reason kung bakit yung 2% sa buong bansa ng Germany ay na-disfellowship. Inignore nila yung katotohanan na doon lang sa Bremen yung sinasabi ng record. Pero pinapalabas nila na yung pangyayari na yon na na-disrupt yung meeting, yun na ang dahilan sa pagka-disfellowship ng mga maraming membro sa buong bansa, which is not correct. This was not actually the case. Yung experience ng mga protesters sa local church sa Bremen ay hindi parehas sa karanasan ng mga protesters sa iba't ibang local church sa Germany at lalo na doon sa 15 other countries sa Europe. Hindi ganon. Okay. Kaya ang ginawa ng mga defender ng Apostate SDA Church, ito yung narinig ko na binanggit ng kapatid natin na fallacy of generalization. Fallacy of generalization. Yan. Ano yung fallacy of generalization? A logical error where a broad conclusion is drawn from a tiny, unrepresentative sample. The experience of one or a few members of the group is being framed as the experience of the whole group. O yun, yung experience doon sa Bremen, isang lugar, isang local church, they make it appear na that is the experience of the whole group of the 2%, which is wrong. That is fallacy of generalization. Okay. Evidence na hindi lahat ng protest ay nakaka-disrupt ng meetings. Evidence number 1. Dito sa yung binasa ko kanina, ulitin kong basahin. Sa isang newspaper dated September 26, 1918. Sabi dito, in the beginning of the war, there were some members, as there are also in other places, who did not want to take part in war service. They started to spread around their ideas in the congregation by word and by writing, trying to convince others to do the same. Okay? So anong ginawa nitong mga hindi gusto sa war? Siyempre, alam nila na yung sasama sa war, makaka-violate yan ng 4th and 6th commandment. Magkakasala. Kaya winawarningan nila, kinakausap yung mga kapwa nilang as SDA, huwag tayong sumama sa gira dahil magkakasala tayo. Ito, by word, ibig sabihin, by word of mouth. Pero hindi lang yan. By writing, sumulat din sila ng article, baka personal letter o kaya article na magpapahayag na ang SDA dapat hindi sumali sa gira, tapos binibigay nila doon sa kanilang mga kasaman. Makaka-disrupt ba sa meeting? Yung magbibigay ka ng babasahin? Hindi, kahit binigay mo yung babasahin doon sa sa pinto ng church. Hindi yan makaka-disturb ng meeting dito. Lalo na pag kinakausap mo na personal. At sa labas ng church mo yan kinakausap. Hindi doon sa ongoing na pupunta ka doon. Very unethical naman yung doon sa actual na services going on. Kung nangyari man yun doon sa Bremen, yun ay unique lang yun. Isolated case. Pero sa ibang lugar ay hindi. Ngayon, binalaan daw sila na huwag gagawin yun, i-stop nila yun, pero nagpatuloy sila. So, they were put out of the church. So, hindi dahil doon sa vocal and loud protest, nakaka-disrupt na ng meeting. Okay. Evidence number 2. Kahit yung members pa ng Bremen Church mismo na hindi kasama doon sa nag-protest at nakadisrupt ng meeting, ay isinama din na disfellowship. Okay, tignan natin yung actual record ng experience doon sa Bremen. Dito po sa History of the Isdarm, page 179-181. The Adventist Church in Bremen had a fine young local elder by the name Wilhelm Richter, but he was not present on the Sabbath after the mobilization. He had withdrawn himself after receiving a draft order to join the German armed force. Tumakas siya, kaya wala siya doon sa church nung Sabado na yon. Anyone joining the army could not possibly keep the commandments of God. So Brother Richter did the only thing that was left to him to do. He fled overnight. Gabi, umalis siya para hindi siya mahuli. So pagdating ng Sabat, wala na siya doon sa Sabado. In the absence of their elder, Brother Stobert, an ordained minister, spoke to the congregation at 11 o'clock service. Ibig sabihin, divine service yan. And what a wonderful service it was. He admonished all to stand faithful to God's holy law, to which the church seemed to agree. So walang problema doon sa first Sabbath. When Elder Stubert spoke of them again the following Sabbath, things had visibly changed. Yung first Sabbath, ini-encourage nila na maging faithful sa Ten Commandments. Nung sumunod na Sabbath, baliktad. Kasi ang dinala na niya ang message ay yung decision ng leaders na pwede na silang sumali sa gira. So magkakontra yung dalawang sermon niya. Kaya nag-react yung mga members dito sa pangalawa na sermon niya. Okay. They are trying to excuse and defend the waging of war and the involvement of God's people in it. For a moment, the conscientious members, true Adventists, sat horrified as he tried to stretch himself behind the text. Submit yourself to every ordinance of man, and let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. Yun yung ginagamit niya na teksto sa kanyang sermon. There were nevertheless enough earnest and stout-hearted believers in that meeting who dared to vindicate the honor of God. They promptly rose to their feet, protesting aloud against such perversion of truth. But they were then informed that this new stand was not taken by the ministers alone. It was now the position of the entire German Union. To this effect, the leaders had sent word to the German government on August 4, 1914. There was much confusion at that meeting. The service was completely disrupted, and the church was virtually divided between two opposing options. Kaya totoong nangyari yun doon. Dahil doon sa magkakontra na sermon ng pastor na dumating. Ngayon, after rather excited week, di ba yung una, matahimik kasi nagpo-promote ng obedience to the law. Second Sabbath, nagkagulo kasi kinontra niya yung first na sermon niya. Pinopromote na niya yung pagsalungat, pagsali sa gira. Yung third na week, sabi dito, they gathered again for the next Sabbath meeting. This time, because of the threatening circumstances, the field president appeared. So, ngayon, ang dumating, hindi yung nag-sermon noong nauna, kundi yung field president na ang dumating. Third Sabbath yon. He reiterated the new standpoint of the leadership very forcefully and condemned the position of the few protesting brethren as the rebellion of Korah. Okay. So doon naman sa kanyang mensahe, inakusahan niya itong mga ayaw sumama sa gira na rebellion. Rebelde daw sila katulad ni Korah, Datan and Abiram na nagrebelde sa leadership ni Moses and Aaron. Okay. And then a shameful thing happened. May nakakahiyang nangyari. The president took a slip of paper from his coat pocket and read it off a list of names. Kumuha ng papel sa kanyang bulsa, may binasa doon ng mga pangalan. Elder Richter and Sister Kramer were included in that list. These, he said, were considered disfellowship from that church. Without any decision of the members, siya lang ang nagbinasa lang niya. Yung pangalan ng mga na-disfellowship. Tapos, etong si Brother Richter, saka si Brother Kramer, na wala naman noon, hindi naman kasama sa nag-protest na nagkagulo, pati sila dinamay na dinis-fellowship. So nakita nyo, pati yung mga hindi vocal, hindi nakaka-disrupt ng meeting, dinis-fellowship. Bakit? Kasi sila nga ay ayaw pumayag na sumama sa gira. Against sila doon sa decision ng mga leaders na nag-uutos sa kanila na to do military service, bear arms, and work on Sabbath. Ayaw nilang sundin yun. And that was the reason na na-disfellowship sila. Kaya mali yung sinasabi nila na yung 2%, the whole of the 2% were disfellowship because of unchristian conduct. Kasi at ang unchristian conduct ay yung mga loud protest nila na nakaka-disrupt sa meeting. Isang Sabado lang nangyari yun. Ginawa na nilang sapat na dahilan para ma-disfellowship. Pero paano yung hindi present dahil tumakas nga yung elder, hindi kasama sa nag-protest? Pati siya, dinis-fellowship pa rin. That means, hindi talaga yung unchristian conduct ang reason. Front lang yon, parang lang yon, yung ang tawag doon yung outward lang na dahilan, pero yung real reason kung bakit sila na-disfellowship ay hindi dahil sa unchristian conduct, kundi dahil talaga doon sa hindi nila pagsunod sa utos ng mga leaders na sumama sila sa gira. Okay. Evidence number 3. Ito disfellowshipment of Brother Gregory Sass. Father of Brother Carlos Sass. Ang nagkukwento dito ay si Brother Carlos Sass. Kinukwento niya yung karanasan ng father and mother niya at saka yung mga kasama nila sa local church. And this event took place in Hungary, hindi na doon sa Germany. Sabi dito sa page 13 ng History of Islam and IMS, my father accepted the Advent faith in 1912 in Hungary and was baptized in the Seventh-day Adventist Church on February 13, 1913. He received the circular letter of the European Division requesting all young men in military age to enlist in the war service. He had been indoctrinated about the importance of keeping the commandments of God, especially from the Sabbath school lesson. Now he was in a dilemma. Should he do war service or not? He wanted to be loyal to the church, so he, as an Adventist, decided to enter the war service. Medyo masunurin din siya. So, sumunod siya doon sa utos ng leader, no? Sumama sa war service. On many occasions, he told us that his work there was to take the food from the kitchen to the soldiers in the trenches. So, yung trabaho niya, tagahatid ng pagkain doon sa mga nakikipaglaban sa battlefield, no? Ang nangyari, he became physically sick and the officers sent him home for treatment. While he was under treatment, the elder of the local church convinced him that a Seventh-day Adventist must not take part in war. Yung elder niya mismo ang nag-convince sa kanya, ang Adventist hindi dapat sumama sa war. So anong ginawa niya? He accepted the counsel of the elder and did not return to the army. Kahit gumaling na siya, hindi na siya bumalik doon sa army. For that reason, he was disfellowshipped from the church. So nasaan doon ang unchristian conduct na nakaka-disrupt ng meeting? Wala. The reason na na-disfellowship is hindi siya bumalik doon sa army. Ayaw na niya kasi na-convince ng local church elder na bawal sa Adventist ang sumama sa gira. Kahit nag-enroll na siya doon, pumunta, mabuti nga at na-sent home siya dahil nagkasakit. Ngayon, ayaw niyang bumalik, na-disfellowship siya. Okay. Evidence number 4. Eto. There were other faithful members who did not agree with the decision of the division, and they were also disfellowshipped. In a church where my mother, ito naman yung local church ng nanay ni Brother Carlos Sass. Yung kanina, yung tatay niya, kwento ng tatay niya na na-disfellowship. Ito naman, experience ng nanay niya. In a church where my grandmother pala, auntie and my mother were attending, the elder of the church, Kutasi by name, was teaching the members that an Adventist cannot take part in war service. Mabuti, tinuruan ng kanilang elder sila na ang Adventist hindi dapat sumama sa gira. Yun talagang original na teaching. Okay. Yun ang original na teaching. Pero ang nangyari, because of that decision, what happened? They were also disfellowship. Because of their decision na huwag sumunod doon sa decision ng division to go to war, they were disfellowship. Personal experience ng family ni Brother Sass. Yung mother niya, grandmother niya, yung auntie niya. Yun. Mabuti yung elder nila mabait. Suportado sa 10 Commandments. Okay. Ngayon, next. Ito pa. In 1916, the minister, Elder Murbach, arrived on the Sabbath to conduct the ceremony of the Lord's Supper. In another place in Hungary naman ito. The table was set and everything was ready for the solemnity, yung communion service. That was the first time that my mother was to partake of the Lord's Supper after her baptism. Pastor Murbach asked the congregation, who is on the side of Brother Kutasi? Remember si Kutasi, siya yung yung elder na nag-convince ang mga member na huwag sumalmi sa gira. So, anti-gira siya. No? Hindi sumunod doon sa utos ng division. Na-disfellowship na nga siya. Doon sa local church na yon, dumating yung pastor para mag-conduct ng Santa Cena. Tinanong niya, sino ang doon na sumasang-ayon kay Elder Kutasi? The elder stood up and said, not on my side, but on the Lord's side. Okay. Nag-attend pa rin yung elder na yon. But the minister insisted, who has the same opinion of Brother Kutasi in regard to the duties towards government? Renevise na yung question. About 20 people stood up. Yung local congregation, 20 people ang nagsympathize sa kanya, sumang-ayon sa kanyang idea. The minister then said, you cannot take part in the Lord's Supper. Hindi kayo kasasama dito sa Lord's Supper. Kasi, sang-ayon kayo sa kanya. Siya ay kontra sa decision ng division. At saka yung union ng German Union. Sabi. They walk out from the church. Siyempre, lumabas sila kasi ayaw silang pasalihin doon sa Santa Cena. They walk out and gathered at the backyard. And the rest of the members inside continue with the ceremony. Yung natira, na pabor doon sa gira, nag-Santa Cena sila. Elder Kutasi invited these to come to his home to have a worship hour there. That same day, these members were disfellowship from the church. Yung 20 na tumayo dahil lang sa they have the same opinion with their elder. Na-disfellowship sila. Meron bang protest na nangyari? Na-disrupt ba yung meeting? Hindi, kasi lumabas sila Sila lang ang nag-Santa Cena. Paano ma-disrupt? Pinalabas nga sila. Kaya, hindi totoo yung sinasabi nila. Yun daw, unchristian conduct, kasi very vocal sila, nakakasira doon sa meeting, na-disrupt yung meeting, hindi pa nga nila matapos yung prayer at saka yung awit. Kaya na-disfellowship sila. Hindi, isolated case lang sa isang Sabat doon sa Bremen. Pero yung iba ang sitwasyon, hindi ganun. Ito pa ang other reasons. Dito naman, the Sabbath Watchman, September to October 2014. With the exception of the presentation by our brethren, there was only one mention in the entire Institute of Adventist Studies Symposium held at Prudential University, Adventist University in May 2014, about the disfellowshipment of faithful SDA members during World War I. That was in Ronald Lawson's presentation, where he stated that the pacifist opposition was disfellowship because the German SDA Church needed to reduce their tension with the state. Para daw yung tension, yung hindi pagkakaunawan sa pagitan ng mga leaders ng SDA at saka yung mga government authorities. Para makakuha sila ng pabor doon sa government authorities, sinacrifice nila itong 2% minority. Para mabawasan ng parang itinuturing nila na tinik sa laman. Kasi habang nandun sila na member at alam ng mga government authorities na member sila ng SDA Church, sisisihin sila. Para hindi sila masisi, pinagtatanggal para pagka dumating yung doon at sisihin sila, sasabihin nila, hindi na namin pananagutan kasi hindi na namin member. Ganun yun hindi na namin kasalanan yun. Sila ay natiwalag na. Kaya kung anong gusto nyo sa kanilang gawin sa kanila, hulihin nyo man, walang anuman sa amin, pabor pa nga sa amin yun. Yun ang mga pag-iisip nila. Okay. So, yan po, nasagot po natin, napatunayan natin na mali po yung sinasabi ng ating mga kapatid na SDA na hindi daw dahil sa hindi nila pagsunod sa pagsama sa gira, hindi daw yun ang dahilan na sila ay na-disfellowship, kundi dahil sa kanilang unchristian conduct. Nakita natin, yung sinasabi nilang unchristian conduct, na loud protest, na nakakadisrupt ng meeting, nangyari lang sa Bremen, isang sabat lang yon na pangyayari. Okay, hindi yon yung karanasan ng lahat ng mga Nudist Fellowship na umaabot ng 4,000 more or less na members sa entire Europe. Okay, so ano ang kasalanan nila doon? Ang ginagawa nila? Fallacy of generalization. So sana mga kapatid, naging malinaw sa inyo itong ating ginawa na paglilinaw. So huwag po kayong ma-confuse. Sana po mga member ng SDARM at SDA, mag-isip-isip po tayo at huwag po tayong maniwala doon sa mga mali na mga paratang.